everybody, before we start this video I'd just like to say a few things quickly. First thing is Pablo's absolutely fine, don't get worried about this video. Second thing, which leads to the third thing, is if you're not subscribed to my personal channel, go over there and subscribe. I haven't posted a video in like 3 months, but my intention is start again very soon. And leading on to the next point is, there is now like a good 95% chance I could be made redundant very soon. Now I'm going to explain everything on that channel rather than here because I don't want to bore anyone with that kind of stuff. But yeah, that means there's going to be a few implications coming to the channel, and as you can imagine, it's a bit of a crap situation I'm in at the moment, which is why this video is kind of a little bit rushed, because I've just been given this news just before this Easter weekend, and yeah, my head's a bit all over the place at the moment because I don't know what to do. But these things happen, you got to deal with them, and that's what I'm trying to do. So then, this little fella here, last weekend he started to make a few out of the normal noises. Now with a pug it's hard to determine what's not normal. What's not normal is what's not normal for your pug. So Pablo tends to sneeze quite a bit as he's walking around, you know, he's constantly just little sneezes out of his nose. And that's the normal for him. He doesn't particularly groan, doesn't groan. But obviously every pug's different, so some pugs will groan and not sneeze, some pugs will grumble but then sneeze as well. Like, because we've had him a year, we know kind of what is normal is. So over the weekend he started making some very out of the normal noises. Now with it changing season, we thought he might be getting some sort of allergies. You know, the change in the kind of weather and temperatures affecting his body slightly. Obviously this is the first year he's going into summer, because obviously he was born kind of into this, so we didn't see this. This is the first year going into a season change of summer. So we weren't particularly sure what or why, but it wasn't particularly much. It was just the occasional kind of wheezing, I would call it. He kind of almost was struggling to breathe. But then as it kind of progressed on through the week, on Monday, Tuesday, he like was really starting to like struggle to breathe. Like we were waking up in the morning, he was waking up from naps, he was coming in from outside and he was like really struggling to catch his breath. Like at one point he got quite distressed in himself because he was struggling to breathe basically. So obviously we take him to the vets. That's always the thing you should do if you're concerned. Look on Google, you're gonna get the most ridiculous responses, because we did, and it was, oh, he's just got a cold, or he's gonna die. Like it. So obviously flowers are starting to bloom now. I'm taking him out on walks, you know, there's different kind of pollens in the air. It might be something related to like hay fever, like there's so much it could have been. So when we took him to the vets, they gave him like a full health check over, but because it's an intermittent problem, it's not something that he's constantly struggling to breathe, it's just occasionally he does. They had a good check over him and found that his glands, which are like really deep in here, were swollen ever so slightly. They weren't 100% sure whether that was actually the cause of it, so what they've done is they gave us some like tablets, medicine tablet things to help with his glands, to try and reduce kind of the swelling in them. So they're trying this out over 5 days to make sure these are working. So over the weekend until they're basically reopened on Tuesday, and they said if it's still there, then it's something else. So if after his trial he's all better, then we can assume it was his glands. If his glands go down, but then pinpoint what it was that caused it. If it happens again next year, we know it's something seasonal. If it doesn't, it might have been something we introduced in the house. You know, we constantly get new like breed diffusers and stuff like that, so it could have been one of them. Like, it's really difficult to pinpoint what caused it, but if we can figure out that it was his glands, that's ideal. While I was in the vets, they were explaining like the issues that it could be. Now a major issue with like the brachycephalic breed, like the flat-faced dogs, is their like soft palate. So in the roof of your own mouth you have like a soft bit at the back. If you like kind of put your tongue back in the top of your mouth, you'll feel like a soft, that's to help like your voice box, your breathing or stuff like this. Now in these kind of dogs, they still have like a normal sized one, but because they've got the squash nose, it kind of pushes back more into like the throat as such. Now if they are too long, they start to catch on the throat. Now I don't know the ins and outs of exactly how it works, but basically it starts to restrict the airflow, because you can imagine you've got like kind of the windpipe like that. Well, this kind of sits on there and goes like that, so it starts catching air in this side, restricting the flow. So what they can do is they can do surgery to kind of cut the soft palate off, so rather than it sitting like that and like the airflow hitting there and kind of causing it to, well, shut basically, what they can do is they can get rid of it so it's a nice smooth airflow. But that is like last ditch resort. She said we don't want to be doing that yet because it is quite a risky surgery, because obviously it's right in the top of his mouth. Now to get to the top of his mouth, you can imagine they're going to have to go in and around here somewhere. So that's an absolute last ditch, and it's not very common that that is an issue, but it is an issue that these dogs definitely do have and can have, and it is an expensive surgery as well if it does need done. But as it stands, we're nowhere near the point of even considering that. You know, he might just be slightly ill, because I've been ill, Chelsea's been ill, so he might have some sort of illness, sickness bug, and he's just like got a bit of an infection in his throat or something. But I just want to keep you guys up to date, because I don't want anyone thinking that, you know, Pablo's constantly healthy, he's constantly just this happy, lively pup. Like, these things are happening to Pablo, and this is why I wanted to do this YouTube channel, to give people a proper understanding that it's not always hunky-dory and everything's fine with them. You know, they are a problem breed, and we are having problems with him. Even Pablo, who's in our eyes and a lot of other people's eyes like a really good example of a pug, you know, he's not got the actual breathing difficulties that most of them have. He's in very good shape, you know, he's energetic, he's constantly happy, you know, he's full pedigree, champion line, he's like the ideal perfect pug, but he's still got these health problems underlying, and it can happen to any of them. So if you've got a pug, it's something to look out for. If you're thinking about getting a pug, it's something just to take into consideration. Now obviously, if anything happens to Pablo and this needs done, we have got his insurance that can cover the cost, and that's one thing I would recommend to anybody getting a pug or any of these like brachycephalic dogs, is make sure you get good insurance. Don't just get any insurance that comes up on Compare the Market or whatever you got. Make sure you look into them, read about them, get a proper insurance that covers everything that you're going to need with these types of dogs. Now when you get these types of dogs, a lot of insurances don't then cover the breathing issues. Make sure they do, because there's no point having insurance if it doesn't cover potentially the most expensive part of having these dogs. And we pay quite a lot for his insurance. Now when we take him to the vets, we do just pay the vets, we don't ever go through insurance. We're not needed to really yet have anything too expensive, but fingers crossed the time doesn't come. But if it does, we've always got that there as backup. I apologise for this video, it is very rushed. There's been a lot going on, as you can imagine, like I said at the start of the video. So it is the Easter weekend, I've put everything kind of behind us at the moment. I'm going to concentrate on getting some really good content for you now. I'm off for like 4 days, but go check out my other channel. I'll put a full explanation on there of kind of everything that's going to be happening in my life, if you're interested, that is. As always people, hit that like button, drop your comments down below, and subscribe if you're new, I guess. Peace out.